Fat is essential for the body, and that's the reason why in the diet, it's also good to get fat, but we have to qualify that this should be good fat and not bad fat.
When we hear the word fat, some of us immediately assume it's bad for us. Actually, it's a vital part of our diet. In fact, research shows that we're each recommended a total fat intake of around 25 to 35% of our calorie intake. But not all fat is the same. Join us as we learn to understand what fat is and how it affects our body. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and welcome to Med Talk Health Talk. Fat is an essential part of our diet. And to tell us more about this, let's welcome Dr. Lourdes Ella Gonzalez Santos, a preventive cardiologist from the Philippine Heart Association and the section head for hypertension at the University of the Philippines, Philippine General Hospital. Hello and welcome, Dr. Santos. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start first by defining some terms. Let's talk about fat, cholesterol, lipids. What do these words mean and how are they related to each other?
I think people are familiar with getting a lipid profile, where when their doctor asks for a 10 to 12 hour fasting, they get results for a total cholesterol. And we have to understand that total cholesterol is a breakdown of three components. That's good cholesterol, that's LDL, lechon de leche, or bad cholesterol, and triglycerides. And what's important is to note that total cholesterol, if it's elevated, is because of these three components. So if your good cholesterol is high, total cholesterol being high is not a problem. But if bad cholesterol is high or triglycerides are high, then this is where the problem lies, and that needs to be treated. So we don't treat total cholesterol, we treat the components.
Okay, now let's talk about cholesterol and fat. A lot of people are familiar with these words but may not be entirely sure what they are and how they work in our body. So let's talk about those.
Our body needs cholesterol every day. So the cholesterol that our liver makes when we're sleeping at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning is so that it can function. So it needs fats and cholesterol so that the cell membrane is intact, so that vitamins, steroids, and hormones can be made. So fat is essential for the body. And fat is made up of cholesterol particles. And that's the reason why in the diet, it's also good to get fat. But we have to qualify that this should be good fat and not bad fat.
That's a perfect description. Now we laid the groundwork of what they are. Let's talk about that. This is where the confusion comes in. What is defined as good and what is defined as bad? Because obviously what people want is to have more of the good in their diet.
Absolutely. So when we talk about good fat, good cholesterol or HDL cholesterol, we can get this naturally from our diet. So that's fatty fish, taba ng tiyan ng bangus, salmon. So these are fish that are filled with fat. We can also get it from nuts. So peanuts, walnuts, almonds. We can also get it from fruits. So avocados, very high in good cholesterol. The most important with good cholesterol is exercise. If we exercise, good cholesterol goes up. So these are easy ways to be able to get good cholesterol.
What I noticed with your list of good sources of good cholesterol for that matter, I didn't hear any animal products, meat for that matter, a lot of which are part of the Filipino diet.
Yung meat, baboy, baka, at saka prito, yan yung lagi kong sinasabi, is all under LDL or bad cholesterol. Kaya nga lechon de leche, so yung mga favorite natin, pagka Pasko na kinakain, lalo na pagka January, bumabalik ang mga pasyente with their lipid profile, you're gonna see sky-high LDL cholesterol. So animal fat, mostly that is where LDL or bad cholesterol comes from. Ang nakakatakot sa animal fat or LDL bad cholesterol, siya po yung nakaka-deposit sa lining ng mga ugat natin. Ang problema, pag nag-deposit itong bad cholesterol sa lining ng mga ugat, kung yung ugat na yon sa utak, stroke po yon. Kung yung ugat na yun sa puso, heart attack yun. Kaya nakakatakot si animal fat, bad cholesterol, or LDL cholesterol.
It's good you also mentioned what happens if we keep on taking the quote-unquote bad sources of fat. Is this a cumulative process or can this be reversed? Someone who is used to eating all the bad cholesterol, all the bad fat, and they realize that this is not good for them, can things go a healthy way?
Ang nakakatakot, pagka panay-panay ang pagkain natin ng animal fat, yung accumulation ng cholesterol sa mga ugat happens over time. So, hindi po natin makikita yung fried chicken na kinain natin, yung pork chop na kinain natin, o yung adobong baboy, sinigang na baboy na kinain natin. Kung araw-araw yan ang kinakain natin, over time, mag-a-accumulate po yan. So, yung stroke at heart attack na nangyayari 3 or 5 years down the line, hindi po natin na-associate with the bad cholesterol na nakakain natin. Particularly kung yung tipo po ng bad cholesterol na kinakain natin, yung pinakapangit na type ng bad cholesterol, ito po yung tinatawag nating trans fat.
That's a very important point because trans fat is really so important in how it affects our bodies that there is policy for it. So that's what we will be talking about next. So keep it here on Med Talk, Health Talk. Recent research shows that our body actually needs fat, but of course, in the right amount and the right sources for that matter. Now, to help us understand this further, let's welcome back Dr. Lourdes Ella Gonzalez Santos, a preventive cardiologist from the Philippine Heart Association. Let's continue our discussion, especially with trans fat. Napaka-buzzword yan nowadays. We see it in a lot of products, but we also see news that say this is not exactly good for our bodies. Let's talk about that. What is trans fat and what does it do when we consume trans fat?
Trans fat or partially hydrogenated oils, PHOs, ito yung pinakapangit na tipo ng fat. Para tumagal ang shelf life ng ibang mga produkto, ang ginagawa po nila, nagdadagdag sila ng hydrogen sa fat. Ang problema sa trans fat, pagka dinagdagan ng hydrogen itong mga oil na to at naging margarine ang oil na dapat liquid, nagiging solid, pinapababa niya ang HDL sa katawan, yung good cholesterol na pinag-usapan natin, at tumataas ang LDL o bad cholesterol sa katawan. So kung lagi tayong kumakain ng trans fat, ang tendency, dahil tumataas ang bad cholesterol sa katawan, nagde-deposit ngayon si bad cholesterol dun sa mga ugat, sa puso, sa utak, that can lead to stroke or heart attack.
How can our viewers know or find the sources where trans fat is normally seen?
Meron na tayong policy ngayon. So as of June 2023, ang DOH po naglabas ng policy to try to eliminate trans fat. So worldwide, malaki yung movement to try to remove trans fat in our diet. Mahirap, no? Malaking paglalaban. Lalo na kasi hindi tayo masyadong komportable sa pagbasa ng nutrition facts sa ating mga produkto. For example, chips na paborito nating kainin, lalo na nitong pandemic na nanonood tayo ng TV at nasa bahay lang tayo at kumakain ng chips. Itong mga chips na to, para tumagal ang shelf life niya, meron siyang trans fat. So, importanteng titingnan natin sa package label kung yung trans fat present. Kasi pag nakita niyo po yung partially hydrogenated oil o trans fat, ito po you should avoid. Kaya po itong policy po ng ating DOH to eliminate trans fat, pagka nakakita po kayo ng trans fat, ang recommendation po nila, sana i-report nyo sa Trans Fat Free Philippines Facebook para malaman natin kung may mga produkto pang umiikot na may trans fat.
Hoping that people are more aware on the food they eat. Now, I'll talk about people's relationship with food for that matter. Unfortunately, those that high in taste or those who are better in budget are those that are unhealthy. Now, my question is, can this be changed by the average person? Are there ways to eat healthy without breaking the bank and still having that satisfactory feeling?
We want to go down to grassroots. Tandaan niyo po, yung mga pagkain na kinakain natin, ito yung kinasanayan na natin. So, kunyari, yung mga donuts na inuuwi nyo sa mga bata, pagka, kunyari, naka-gold medal yung anak, kung ano yung ipapakain nyo, ang tendency, yung mga bata, iisipin nila, pagka may ginawa akong maganda, pwede akong kumain ng steak, pwede akong kumain ng donut, kasi ito yung binibigay ni mommy o ni daddy. So, importante, educational level. So, ang mga bata, dapat maaga pa lang, tinuturo na natin sa kanila. So, dahil ikinasanay natin na hindi masyadong kumain ng gulay, so, ang mga bata ngayon, hindi masyadong kumakain ng gulay. I think what's important is awareness at the level where from the household, nagsisimula na dapat nating i-introduce.
Now, Dr. Santos, we will have some questions that we got from our viewers. We have a question here.
Kapag iniwasan ko po bang kumain ng fatty foods, mas mabilis po ako makakapag-lose weight?
Hindi masyadong direct ang correlation. Ang taba, cholesterol intake, at saka weight loss. So, nakaka-frustrate. So, ibang tao, sasabihin nila, hindi na sila kumakain ng baboy, baka, pero hindi naman sila naglo-lose ng weight. So, kunyari, yung ketogenic fad na nangyari dito sa Pilipinas, na ang mga tao hindi kumakain ng carbohydrates, kakain sila ng maraming taba. Nakita nila, ang bilis ng weight loss. Primarily dahil pagka nag-cut down tayo ng carbohydrates, totoo na bababa talaga ang timbang, pero hindi pwedeng isa-sacrifice mo yung pagkain ng bad cholesterol. Kasi yung pagkain ng bad cholesterol, hindi mo nga mapapansin na nag-a-accumulate o nagde-deposit yan sa mga ugat mo. Pero yung stroke at heart attack 5 years down the line, hindi nyo na-associate dun sa pagkain nyo ng cholesterol that time na naglo-lose kayo ng weight dahil ang baba ng inyong carbohydrate intake. So, ang frustration sa cholesterol, hindi correlative with weight loss.
And that is something that people should be wary about. Now we have another question here.
Ano pong mga pagkain ang makukonsider na healthy fats?
Yung ating isda na pinag-usapan, mga taba ng tiyan ng bangus, salmon, nuts. Maganda po na snacks yun kaysa kakain tayo ng chips, avocado, mga prutas, mataas din po yan sa good cholesterol. Para lang po maipasok ko, no? Ang paninigarilyo, nakakababayan ng good cholesterol. So, pagka naninigarilyo tayo, hindi po natin ini-expect na tumaas ang good cholesterol.
Very good advice. And here we have another question.
Ang pagkain po ba ng fatty foods ay magkakakos ng sakit sa puso?
So, absolutely. Yung mga kumakain kasi ng matataba, lalo na yung mga animal fat, pork chop, sinigang na baboy, lechon de leche, yung cholesterol, bad cholesterol na nakukuha nila dito sa mga pagkain na to, pwedeng mag-deposit yan sa arteries. Ito yung mga ugat na nakikita natin sa buong katawan. So pagka yung deposition ng cholesterol nangyari sa ugat sa utak, maaring stroke ang mangyari. Sa puso, heart attack. Meron pong mga tinatawag nating peripheral arterial occlusive disease, konting paglalakad lang, pinupulikat na, dahil nga po may mga bara sila sa ugat, sa paa. So, ito ang deposition ng bad cholesterol na gusto nating iwasan.
Excellent advice. We've definitely learned a lot from you, Dr. Santos. So to wrap things up, what tips can you give our viewers, especially now that they have a better understanding of fat, cholesterol, and how it affects our body?
The Philippine Heart Association advocacy really is to increase awareness for cholesterol management. From the household, we want every Filipino to be aware of their cholesterol levels. So get your yearly check with the lipid profile. Know that there are different types of cholesterol. Concentrate on good cholesterol. Try to avoid bad cholesterol, particularly trans fat.
Thank you very much for sharing your information with us. Preventive cardiologist Dr. Lourdes Ella Gonzalez Santos. There are many practical ways to include good fat and lessen the bad fat in our diet. More on this when we return. Keep it here on MedTalk Health Talk. Eating healthy can be challenging for some. Let's find out how we can incorporate good fat in our daily diet.
Hi, I'm Je Ombao. I'm a full-time nutritionist and an R&D chef. Para sa araw-araw natin, dapat kumakain din tayo ng different types of fats. Pero to balance out our diet, dapat good fats yung pipiliin natin. Meron tayong common na avocado, olive oil, some nuts and seeds. Commonly, mas alam natin gumamit ng cooking oil. We should use those in moderation. And then, marami rin tayong foods na makikita na may hidden fats like all-purpose cream, cream cheese, bacon, ice cream, and then white chocolate, and butter. As much as possible, maiwasan natin ang hydrogenated fats, fried foods like french fries, fried chicken, some nuggets, and highly processed meats, packaged chips, cookies, donuts, and other pastries. Kung ang bata sanay kumain ng junk food for merienda, hanggang paglaki niya, ma-adapt na niya yung ganong practice. Pero, habang bata pa, kapag tinitrain mo siya kumain ng fruits and vegetables, hahanapin na niya yan all throughout ng lifespan niya. As parents, magbibigay man tayo ng sweets, desserts, anything na fast food, kahit ano na unhealthy, we should always guide them. Kasi baka paglaki nila, it can be their source of stress eating habits. It can also be their reward system, like very small wins nila, which will lead to unhealthy lifestyle. Dapat kapag magpe-prepare tayo ng food, hindi umuusok yung mantika kasi doon naglalabas ng free radicals ang oils. And then, as much as possible, steaming, boiling, and a little bit of grilling kasi when the food is exposed with smoke, doon naman nagkakaroon ng carcinogenic compounds that can lead to cancer. And then now, we're gonna prepare a Buddha bowl. Buddha bowl is a dish na merong whole grains, vegetables, source of protein, and basically, it can be plant-based, pero up to your preference. Kung gusto niya lagyan siya ng any type of protein, pwede rin naman. As long as we eat a balanced diet, we have a good amount of protein, carbohydrates, and fats. For our Buddha bowl, meron tayong chickpeas, tomatoes, lettuce, sweet potatoes, brown rice, red onions, and some herbs and spices. First, for the dressing, we're gonna make a chickpea mayonnaise. Sa blender, add natin yung chickpeas, olive oil, and some spices, and then i-blend natin until smooth. And then, we'll prepare our Buddha bowl. Assemble lang natin yung rice, chickpeas, vegetables. For our Buddha bowl, the good sources of fat are avocado and olive oil. And then, drizzle with the chickpea mayonnaise. So now, here's our colorful Buddha bowl. Since it looks like a big meal, so pwede rin siya maging lunch or dinner. Marami naman tayo nakikitang gulay sa market. We always have to make sure na we get fresh ingredients in season. And then, kapag naman mamimili tayo, we can prepare in advance. Tapos, we can store it properly sa refrigerator. And pwede naman tayong kumuha dun, for example, magbabaon tayo sa work, or magpe-prepare tayo ng dinner for the family. Mas okay naman na mag-prepare na lang tayo kaysa bibili pa tayo. Also, mas inexpensive kapag magpe-prepare tayo on our own. I always recommend to eat rainbow-colored food kasi when we eat rainbow-colored food, mas maraming antioxidants tayo nakukuha, and as fresh as possible, mas marami tayong enzymes na natatake from the fresh ingredients, fresh vegetables and fruits, as well as fresh proteins.
The right amount of fat in our diet, together with a well-balanced meal, along with quality sleep and exercise, will do wonders for our health. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez. Thank you for joining us here on MedTalk Health Talk.